Hello to you all. It's quite a spontaneous live, but perfectly timed one, because we are right in the middle of a set of incoming cosmic energies, and for many years, maybe since 2014, I've been sort of reporting on incoming energies. I don't do it as much these days because incoming energy is 24/7. So I wouldn't want to sort of be reporting every single day, because even in the space of 5 minutes, the incoming energy can change, okay? And please forgive any background noise. I'm actually in a car park. But it's just perfect to come on to try and support you in any moment, whether it's today, next week, next year, 3 years time, in terms of how it's easier to experience incoming energy, okay? First off, just to give some clarity on incoming energy. Right now, in this moment, as you're joining me, we have incoming energy. Tomorrow we have incoming energy. The next day we have incoming energy. So in other words, there is incoming energy in every single now moment. There can be a point of confusion in the spiritual arena in terms of when incoming energy lands, okay? So sometimes I can post and I will say incoming energy now, meaning this moment, the moment I'm posting about it, okay? If a person says, oh, I experienced that yesterday, or oh, I experienced that a week ago, go back to yesterday, go back to a week ago. That was a now moment yesterday. It was a now moment of incoming energy in that now moment a week ago. Do you understand? So in other words, it can get confusing for people, because if they feel they experienced this now energy in this second, if they feel they experienced it yesterday, it's no, yesterday in your now moment, you experienced incoming energy, and that energy would be different to right now, okay? So that's the first thing, just to clear out. Incoming energy isn't always from the sun. I think everybody knows that by now. So, you know, I don't ever rely on, you know, the technical instruments that monitor the sun. I've never relied on those myself, because I always rely on experiencing energy as sensations, and then over the years I get to understand those sensations, monitor those sensations, draw them out, map them as patterns, and then with practice, you get to understand your own personal system of how you are receiving incoming energy and what that means for you. And no matter what the incoming energy is, always know that it affects everybody differently, always. And to have compassion for that, because we can have incoming energy, and I always go high as a kite, you know, as if I'd be on drugs, which I don't do, by the way, and I've never done, but I'm sure if I took drugs, that's how it would feel. I feel very high, but some people get really affected by them. So everybody is different. It doesn't mean one energy affects everybody in the same way. Okay. The real reason for supporting, how to deal with them when they land for yourself, and also sensitive understanding for others. Right, I'm just trying to think of how I can explain this. And I'm going to do it in two ways, two different things. Imagine a family of ants, okay, like an ant hill, yeah? And all the ants are doing their own jobs, you know, they're protecting the eggs, they're making tunnels, they're going about their day and their business. And then suddenly something from above interrupts that. So maybe somebody comes along and stands on the anthill, or you know, maybe part of a branch of a tree falls off and it disturbs the anthill. And then what you see is all the ants scurrying around all over the place. Yeah, so in one moment they were doing their activity in quite an orderly fashion. I say that with a giggle. But in the next moment, because something has landed on their area, their field, you see all this scurried, panicked frenzy of activity of all the ants running around all over the place. Okay. That can be how incoming energy affects humanity. It can be. It often is. Okay. I found over the years, just by watching, okay, is that whenever we do have very particular, strong, significant incoming energies, I can find that the spiritual arena can be the busiest. You know, people will want to chat all the time, not realizing that the incoming energy is actually stimulating them so much that they're doing this. You know, their system is in a bit of a frenzy, when in truth the greatest thing we can do as human beings, so forget the ants now, okay, but the greatest thing that we can do as human beings is slow down, slow the brain down. So when we receive incoming energy, the greatest thing we can do, if we can, if we're in a situation where we can, is slow down. If you can slow down your physical activity, that's the greatest thing you can do. But let's say you have a busy life, or you're busy at work during an incoming energy. What you can do is breathe. And in just sitting there at your office desk, or when you're surrounded by the children and everybody's maybe boisterous or busy or chaotic, what you can do is breathe. And everybody can do that. Everyone, no matter where you are, you can stop and breathe. So if you are at work and you're doing a job that requires a lot of mental activity or physical activity, whilst you're doing that job, you can choose to breathe. It's a choice. And you'll just breathe slowly into your heart space. Wait there just a few seconds and breathe out that love from your heart through all of your own body, first of all, and then take that breath through the skin and out into your energetic field. So you can become attuned to, aligned to consciously the toroidal field around your heart. And if you align to that through your breath, the breath is the simplest way to align to the toroidal field around your heart. It's the quickest and simplest way. You can do that in any moment, even if you're surrounded by a crowd of people that are talking non-stop. You can do it very quietly. Breathe in, and what you're doing is you're breathing in love to your own heart space. I don't mean your physical heart, I mean your heart center. That's the center of your heart's toroidal field. You breathe love into that. You wait just a few seconds. And you're not counting 1, 2, 3, 4, because that keeps you in the brain. Let go of the brain. Wait a few seconds. And then breathe out the love through the whole of the depth of the inner part of your body, through the organs, through the muscles, through the skin, and let that breath out through the skin. You know, there are 2 videos on the heart breath, by the way, that I did, and they're on YouTube. I think, I don't know what year it was. Just look up Sacred Breath, and there's parts 1 and parts 2 on YouTube. Maybe 2018 I did that, maybe, I don't know when. So the greatest thing you can do is breathe during incoming energies, a conscious breath. And that actually slows you down. It will slow you down. It will make you feel calm. It will make you feel relaxed. Just by choosing the breath. Depending on the incoming energy, sometimes it's incredibly electric. And by electric, if you feel energy, I suppose this video is speaking to the people that feel incoming energy and are affected by it. If you don't feel it, maybe you're not affected by it, or you are, but you just don't realize you are. But when it is incredibly electric, the energy, which at the moment it isn't. Right now, as I sit here with you, I can feel the energy, but it's not significantly electric. But if it was, you're going to feel sharpness, like pins, poking into your head. You might feel that sensation in your body. And one of the greatest things I've found is simply to get some water and wet your head completely. Just wet the whole of your hair and your scalp. And that seems to balance out the electric within the sensation that is happening within the nerves of your brain. So it's the neurons, it's the electricity that's sparking from neuron to neuron inside your brain, and that's what you're feeling. And then it does that throughout the body as well. So if you can just wet the whole of your head or your face, you're going to feel better. You'll just be like, oh, like that. If you can immerse in water, do so. If you can just put your feet in a bowl of water, do so. It will really, really help. Okay. I want to take this a bit deeper. So the sort of surface layer of things you can do would be to relax down and slow down. Slow down. If you're not in any rush to do something, slow down. And if you have to be busy, breathe. And that breath will automatically balance you, calm you, and you will actually slow down. But you'll just do everything in such a more balanced way. You'll feel better within yourself. You'll feel more relaxed. And if possible, water. Put it on your arms and anywhere that you feel to. And lastly, if you can, just walk barefoot. And I know that's a sort of, people sort of associate that with spirituality, always walking barefoot and all that. And I don't mean it in that way. I just mean that if you put your bare foot on Mother Earth, on the ground, there's energy, there's electric and magnetic running in you all the time. But if you put your feet on the ground, Mother Earth absorbs the imbalance. And if you just do it, you'll see. I don't have to explain it even more than that. If you just try it, you'll notice how much better you feel, okay? Just try it for a few seconds and you'll feel better. Barefoot on grass, barefoot on the earth, barefoot in the water, Just try it and you'll see that it will help you. Some incoming energies, you might feel that you need to lie down and go to sleep and rest. So there's surface activities that we can do to support ourselves. But now I want to go deeper and at a deeper level of what you can do to greatly support yourself as well as your embodiment, your actual embodiment, which as well as your well-being in the moment. And this again can only really apply to people that do feel incoming energy as a sensation. So if you do feel incoming energy as a sensation, then why don't we just do this together as I'm sat in this car park? Okay, we'll do it together. So just maybe just get comfortable while I have a little sip of water, and we'll just do this together. Okay. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. It's whatever you prefer. I'll do it with my eyes shut to start with, and then I'll open them and carry on doing it with my eyes open, simply because I'm holding a phone, which is quite distracting in itself, and I'm talking, which is quite distracting in itself. So I do want to shut my eyes to try and shut off certain distractions. So we have incoming energy right now. So I'm going to close my eyes if you want to join me. And with the eyes closed, we automatically are shutting off the visual distractions. And all we can actually see is the back of our eyelids. And we're not wanting to see anything. We're not going to go into a meditation. We don't want to hear anything or see anything. That's not what this is about. This is about supporting you dealing with incoming energies. And just feel the sensation you can feel that are vibrations. Maybe you're feeling them in the head. Maybe you're feeling them right now in the heart, which is a very different vibration and pattern to what's going on in the head. So I'm just asking you to feel the energy you can feel with this incoming energy. And just quieten down. Feel it. Now, I don't know how each of you are, but I just want to say the phrase, become like water. So if you imagine a river that is flowing, just visualize that for a moment. And there's this river that is flowing at fast speed, and you're about to jump into it. Are you going to jump in and flap around? Maybe you're not a good swimmer. I'm not a good swimmer. Are you going to panic? Are you going to try and stay above the surface? Notice the word try. Are you going to hatch a plan of how to navigate the waters? Premeditated thoughts? Or can you just become the water itself? Instead of being the human being immersed in the fast-flowing river that's rushing down, hitting the rocks, hitting the river banks, maybe even turning into a waterfall. Instead of being the human, be the water. So that little visualization of you becoming the water itself, becoming the river. Just be with that for a moment, just because I want to make sure everybody can do that. That was just to help you to realize that you can just be energy. So let's come out of the river now and go back to the body. You're feeling the vibrations within you. Excuse me. Merge with the vibrations. Feel the vibrations. Trace the patterns. Choose any one you like, in your head, in your heart, in your arms, in your root chakra, and merge with the patterns and vibrations you feel. And if you're feeling many, like I am, just take the whole lot as one and merge with it all. Merge. Become the energy, not the human. You're no longer tracing the energy. You're no longer trying to decipher it or find it. You have become the vibrations themselves, the patterns themselves. You are no longer the human observing it. You are the energy. If you have your eyes closed, you can open them, but stay with being energy. Your body's going to move all by itself. Your head's going to move all by itself, because you've let go of resistance. You've let go of your mind. Be energy. Align to the incoming energy. And when you become it, there's no resistance to it. You become it. You're not even trying to work it out. You are it. Just like you became the river. You become the energy that is coursing through your body, being emitted by it. It's peaceful. It's beautiful. It is you. And you've just let go of all resistance. There's no human. There's no thoughts. So I'm going to come out of that a little bit now, just to finish off, okay? I'm going to stay with the energy, because it's still here, isn't it? It hasn't gone away. Come out of it a little bit. But you know, you can only do this if we stop talking. We can only do this if we stop typing. We can only do this if we come away from the mind and the thoughts, the activity of the mind. And the more you practice that, the easier it becomes. It becomes like second nature, because it is you. We are all energy. And it's helpful to practice that anyway, because you end up working with energy instead of fighting it. And your consciousness itself, that light facet of light, frequency and vibration, it just operates as energy. So the more you can practice being energy, the more you are actually aligning to your true self, and how that true self creates, which is through energy, not through mental thoughts. It's through aligning to and attuning to different frequencies. That's how simple it is for your true self, your higher self. It's just choosing an energy frequency. Just want to end just with a little bit of self-responsibility, if that's okay. I do hope this doesn't trigger people, but it possibly will. Is self-responsibility when it comes to incoming energy. Sometimes it really depends on the person, but sometimes we can be unaware of self-responsibility until we are responsible. And then it's just second nature. Yeah, it's just how we are. If I was a person that always says I can't stand this incoming energy, and I moan and I moan and I moan to people about how I feel, I don't want to say the word negative ways, but you do know what I mean. You know, words are a bit limited these days, aren't they? You have to bear in mind that if I choose to share how I'm feeling, and that how I'm feeling isn't good, and I go into detail of how bad I feel, okay? Energy just is energy, okay? Energy doesn't judge. A frequency is just a frequency, is just a frequency. You know, it's a bit like the rain is just the rain. Water is just water, say. But if I am in a mindset of moaning, yeah, or sharing all my ailments to people, you have to realize that that can be, it's not always, because it depends how the person speaks and where the person is coming from. They might be coming from neutrality, where they're just sharing data, but they might actually be coming from a state of, actually feeling awful, and they just want to go, bleh, you know, let it out in that way. Bleh, I just feel, bleh, 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 bleh. Okay. That in itself is a lower Hertz frequency. So the person is choosing in that moment to be a lower Hertz frequency. And the person is responsible for the frequency that they are emitting. Now, if they were to do that to another person, or you know, write it or share it with their family, not everybody is energy aware. Not everybody has fully embodied their, or when I say fully embodied, I mean not everybody is conscious of their own energetic field around them. So what can happen if a person chooses to moan in a negative way as opposed to sharing neutrally how they feel, is if it's a low frequency of moaning, they will emit that energy out, and somebody very innocent, unaware of their energetic field, can receive that lower hertz energy frequency, and so it can affect them. If I put this in more of a sort of typical way, because I'm talking about energies here, so it's a very neutral sharing, but if I put this in another way, you know, when you say may walk into a room or a situation and a lot of people are arguing or moaning, well, sometimes that will have affected us, and that's what I'm talking about. See, when we become energy responsible, we become very responsible for the words that we emit. We become responsible for the energy we choose to be, which then is emitted, but we're also responsible for how that could potentially affect another person that isn't consciously aware of how their energetic field works. And so we become aware that possibly we can affect them in a way that lowers their vibrational frequency. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt this high and this happy, and then you listen to a conversation, and by the time you finished, you feel like flat on the floor? You feel like boom. You know, 10 minutes ago you were really happy, but then you heard this, that and the other, and you feel at a lower state of happiness. That's because whatever was happening outside of you has gone into your energetic field. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to explain? I'm perhaps not explaining it very well. So we become energy aware. So it's not to say to not talk about things and to not talk about and share how you're feeling, but there's this very subtle nuance, which is a big difference in energy frequency. One is to just describe and explain very neutrally from within you, and you know how that feels. Now, right now, I'm explaining this very neutrally. I'm not judging any of it, yeah? I'm just sharing the information. So when we share the information, it comes from a neutral place within us. But that's very different to an energy frequency that is just wanting to offload because I feel bad, yeah? And I can't cope, so I'm gonna offload it all because I literally cannot cope and I'm in an imbalanced state within myself. That's what I'm talking about. So it's just that awareness. There's this nuance. It's like a fine line, but actually the difference in energy frequencies are quite different, believe me, of just sharing neutrally, or is it offloading onto another? And that's, you know, when we come into self-responsibility, we're always aware of that, no matter the situation, including during incoming energies. Okay. So just to finish off, just to always, I remind, or at least I try to remind, is that energies are 24/7. And when you attune to energy, meaning you feel energy and you observe it and you see what it's doing, it opens up your awareness to it. So your sensitivity to energy becomes more and more and more and more and more. And that opens up more and more and more knowledge within you about energy, as well as the ability to just switch frequency and switch channels of consciousness and energy frequencies within you just within a second. You know, you can just change at will, because you're practicing becoming energy itself rather than thoughts and words. You're attuning to energy. This is where humanity's going. This is what's so exciting about it, is we really are becoming what I call the human energetica, you know, very, very energy sensitive. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful. So to remember that any incoming energy, whether it's today, tomorrow, yesterday, it takes at least 2 to 3 days to integrate that particular pattern and sequence into your cells. It's one thing receiving it. It can destabilize us. It can make us extremely tired. It can be beautiful. It can be disconcerting for people. But just to be gentle with yourself and realize that, yeah, okay, this is happening now. This is energy. It's not, this energy isn't comfortable for me, or maybe it is comfortable. But whatever this energy is, it will be integrated within my body within 2 to 3 days. And what you'll find is, say we have strong incoming energies like now, which we do have, which are changing all the time as I speak, 2 to 3 days from now, we'll be in an awareness of what this energy was about. And it's not about my awareness, it's about your awareness. It's not about somebody else's awareness, it's about your awareness. Because your consciousness is always communicating to you. So my awareness will be different to somebody else's and different to somebody else's, yeah? What does this incoming energy mean to you? If you just stay present with it as much as you possibly can, you're just allowing it to come in, say today. You're trying to relax yourself, to allow it in with greater ease than resistance does. Resistance fights it. It's like taking a tennis racket and you're trying to bat the energy away. Well, it's coming into you energy. It's coming into you anyway. So why not just relax and become the river, become the water? Allow it. If you feel tired, maybe have an early night, or try and change your schedule for the day and honor yourself. There's nothing wrong with changing things around to honor yourself. If you need time to yourself, honor that. But try and just let the energy in with your ease, not your resistance. Because if you just let go, surrender, and allow it in, it's actually easier. It's so much more beautiful. It can be so beautiful if you just surrender and become energy, because energy is beautiful. As pure energy, it's a beautiful experience. There's no mind involved as energy. You're free from thoughts. So surrender to the energies if you are able, and then just make a note of today, and then so not tomorrow but the next day, just start to be present and see what has changed within you in terms of your inner path, your inner stage, your inner understanding, your own self-realizations. This is about you. It's not about anyone else or what I say or what anyone else says. What have you noticed? What is the difference within you? And then trust that. And then that will, if you do that again and again, whenever we have energies, which is 24/7, but whenever we particularly have strong energies or energies that are building, you know, you become your own navigation system. You have your own inner tools that help you understand. It's like, and I'll just finish here, but it's like this morning, okay? And this is what I mean by your inner tools that you develop within yourself that help you understand, that help you make sense of how you feel. It's like this morning when I woke up and I had what I call pre-wave energies. And And over the years, at first I didn't know what they were. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't even know they existed. But I noticed how I felt a few hours, 3 to 5 hours before incoming energy landed, because I feel it when it lands. The moment it lands on Earth, I feel it, because it's a sudden change. The patterns suddenly change, the vibrations suddenly change. So when I felt the pre-wave this morning, I'm feeling all these energies, and they're not necessarily, when you're waking up in the morning, you're not necessarily compos mentis, you're not necessarily thinking straight because you've just been sleeping. And I think, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? And then I feel, oh, this is the pre-wave. So it can give you so much peace within yourself if you can understand the different types of energies that we actually all receive. And we all receive them, all of us, together. But if you can help yourself understand incoming energies and work with them, it's going to give you a greater peace and calmness within you. A greater calmness, because you'll understand what is happening to you. And I think if you can understand what's happening within you, you've got something to work with. You've got something to understand there. As opposed to feeling confused and discombobulated. Okay, I'll leave it there because that was a long word and I don't use long words. So I will leave that on a very long word, discombobulated. And I can't spell it, obviously, but I like that word. So sending you all love. I hope some of this helps you. And as always, if it doesn't, just ignore it. I will, when I get home at some point later today, put this on YouTube so that the CC subtitles come up for people in different countries with different languages. Okay. I always do that, but it'll be later today. Okay. Sending you all love. I really hope that helps in some way. Look after yourselves. Breathe. Try and slow down. Try and slow down the mind. And immediately, just even by saying that, it's just so much more relaxing and calm. And that's the best way to get through any incoming energies. Not to fight them. Okay, I love you all. God bless, and take care of yourselves. Always do what's right for you. What's right for me might not be what's right for you. So it's always about honouring ourselves. Okay. God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.